Hi, Craig Urquhart here, and welcome to another edition of Berlin Conversations. Today I have a wonderful gastronomer. His name is Sebastien Gorius, and he is the proprietor of a very well-known food boutique here in Berlin called La Gusta Cantina. Now, Sebastien, welcome, and correct my French, please.
Thank you very much first to invite me. So it's La Cantine d'Augusta.
Okay.
La Cantine is La Cantina is Italian and La Cantine is French. Augusta was my grandmother.
Oh, wonderful. And your last name was pronounced correctly?
Gorius, Sebastien Gorius.
Yeah, I will never get that.
And I like the way you say it, like a food boutique. This sounds really good.
And today is your 10th anniversary of moving to Berlin.
Yeah, we celebrate my 10 years in Berlin.
So that's why we're breaking protocol here, and I'm going to toast you. I'm so happy to have you here for 10 years.
I'm happy to be with you today.
I know, but I'm happy to have you in Berlin for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Time.
It does fly.
Went so quickly. It's amazing. I can't believe it is already 10 years.
Yeah. And was that 10 years ago that I met you? Was that the first time you did Eurovision?
I think I met, we are friends.
Friends.
Bruno and Annette, and I think I met them 10 years ago, just before opening La Cantine d'Augusta. La Cantine d'Augusta was not open. And then we met each other at one of the concerts you did for a new album.
Oh, right. And we did that first, before the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, that was 8 years ago.
That was Calm Seas. I was premiering Calm Seas here in Berlin.
And I remember I didn't know anything about you, and I was like set up the catering, and then I hear that you start to play, and I have to stop. The music touched me really a lot. Like it was like really, really, really nice, and I was like, oh wow, this is amazing.
Well, I'm so glad my music brought us together. Yeah. It was wonderful.
And then we met each other for a party and
social life. We became friends, which is great. Exactly. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your shop. It is like a shop because
it's a shop, is a restaurant. Yeah. So when I started 10 years ago, so we will celebrate the 24th of May this year as the 10 years of the restaurant, because it took me some months to open the place.
I will fly back from Berlin from New York on the 23rd then.
So then you can be there. Okay. Friday. First, everything was on the same place because now we have two shops close to each other and next doors. Everything was on one place, was 70 square meters with a restaurant, a cheese shop, a wine cellar, and it was packed. It's funny because yesterday I had a meeting with an architect, and he said, yeah, but it's what we like, the atmosphere, and we are packed also in your restaurant, and there's a lot of things, and it makes this charmant, or charm.
Or as the Germans say, very gemütlich.
Yeah. The concept, and I was always saying, everyone take the concept like he would like. So it could be for some people a shop with restaurant. For some people it's a restaurant where we can buy stuff to take away. That was the first concept 10 years ago. Now we have a restaurant, proper restaurant, and a proper shop for cheese and wine. And when I do interview or when I have new employees and try to explain them, we are here to share a passion about food, and there is one word, is no translation in the word. The word is terroir, not terror, but terroir. And I remember I was in London before Berlin, and then I was in a wine tasting, and someone asked to the sommelier there, but you're talking about terroir, what is terroir? And I love the answer. I said there is no translation about terroir. If you want to make a translation, you have to make 20 pages of description. Terroir is it's a land, it's the people, it's a story, it's the animal, it's a savoir-faire, and every part of France have another terroir. So, and we are here to share this. We are here to share our passion to welcome the people, for gastronomy, and to share a good time. I mean, like, I really want that when people come in La Cantine d'Augustin, they enjoy a good time. And I try to say to the people, welcome people like you will welcome at your place. And when you have friends who are coming, and yeah,
well,
we try to do.
It always feels that way, that you're welcoming everybody with an open heart. And I know you have an incredibly loyal following, and that's because they feel at home there. Yeah. So when did your passion, you're from France, right?
Yeah.
Which part of France?
I'm from Grenoble in France, born in 1980.
Oh God, you're just a child.
Yeah, the question about the passion of food, where it's come from. Well, I don't really know when it started, actually. This is funny because I remember when I was a child, when I left table for lunch, I always asked my mom, what do we have for dinner tonight? She was, wait a minute, please. And then my parents liked to organize also a lot of party and dinners, and there was always, I think, our family was always a place where organized big party with the friends of my parents. Sylvester, for example, was more 30 people sitting, food, and I think I probably start there. Also with my grandmother, because Augusta is my grandmother.
I was going to ask you, so that's great.
So she's come from small farms. And Chamousset is a city very close to Albertville. Albertville was the Olympic Games in 1990. I think it was 1990 or 1992 in France. And she grew up in the farm, and then I've seen stuff like we had good food, like real proper chicken, not from the supermarket.
No, you were farm raised. Did you? When did you start in participating? Like in?
That was more when I was student, I would say.
Okay, later.
I remember we had I don't know the name in Bureau des élèves, student organization, and I was a part of this, and I was the guy who organized the party, and this came for me, this passion for gastronomy. And I have, and this is really a deep and giving me goosebumps in a minute, then I have a real huge respect for gastronomy. Gastronomy, I mean like waiters, sommelier, kitchen chef for sure. I know some of the most famous kitchen chefs in the world, but also about the farmers. I mean, like we forgot that when we had something in our plate, it's come from, I hope most of the time, from the farms and not from the industry. And these people wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. They have no holidays. They are passionate about the food, and this make me like, I have to share this with the other people. And then my first job, I used to work for Pernod Ricard. I think now it's the second or the first biggest brand alcohol in the world, and I was like in the night division. So my job used to be to go in club and make promotion of alcohol. I was paid to go in club. That was when you have 21 years old. To be honest. And then I really had the feeling also with some night restaurant and stuff like this. Then I changed, and for all the job, I used to be a banker, I used to be a real estate agent, I used to be a seller for food as well. And always I quit my job after 1 year, and always with this feeling, I have to open my restaurant. I want to open my restaurant. Never happened until 2008, first restaurant in Grenoble. Everything was there. I was with some partners, so I found the good partners, we find a good time, I had the money, that was also important.
It helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
And the time to organize this, and I fall in love with his jobs. Like really, I really fall in love with his jobs, and the good product, the good wine, and it's a long way. It was to learn, to meet people, and yeah, this is.
So I know that you often most of your product comes from France. Am I correct? Yeah. And I know that you make trips to France quite often, not only to see family, but also to research and meet the cheesemakers and the farmers and winemakers. And what is that process like? How do you?
Next trip is in February.
Yeah.
Actually. So before I opened La Cantine d'Augustin, I did a tour for a year to meet some winemakers, butchers, cheesemongers, to not only to visit them and to get a price list and bye-bye. No, I was there and I worked with them. I mean, I did the harvest for sure, but I used to work also in the wine cellar, 3 of them. I used to work with some cheesemonger, and then the relation is completely different. When you come and you say to the people, I would like to work with you with your product in Berlin, but first I want to understand your job and I want to work with you. I want to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I want to be with you and really to see how is it. Oh, the difference is huge. And it was really interesting also. And this year, finally, I will organize also for some of my employees a tour in France with some of our suppliers, because they have to understand really where who product come from.
So you really believe in an intimate relationship between what you're selling and what the customer is getting. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
for me, my concept, I've seen this concept actually in London. The name of the restaurant was Fernandez and Wells, and I worked for them. Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Wells opened first they want to open a shop with food, but they were in Seoul. And I mean, in Seoul, most is office, and office or studio or bar and stuff like this. So it's turned quickly more on restaurant where you can buy some food also to take away some wine and cheese, but they are more focused on restaurant. And what I like in this place, and what I tried to did it here, there is no kitchen chef star. I don't want a star. The star are the product. The star are the wine. The star are the cheese. And we work with some of the most famous supplier in the world. Or they supply also wine in a lot of famous restaurant and Michelin star restaurant, etc. So, and we distribute also this product here in Berlin.
Well, we're very grateful. I mean, I love coming to your shop and just asking you. I need 6 bottles of red, 6 bottles of white, and you always choose them. And I give you a price range, because you can get a good wine at this price, or you can get a good wine at this price.
Exactly.
And you're never disappointed. It's
I hope we have only good wines. Because I try out more.
And the cheeses, I mean, the ones we bought for Christmas, for the holidays, and so unbelievable. They were just so tasty. Yeah.
For the cheese, we try also to find small suppliers, but this is very difficult to have it, because small suppliers, small farms, and farmers are good to make product, for sure, but to sell the product, they are really, really bad. And it's very hard to find a structure. We find one now, then collect all the cheese from the small farms and then they send it to us. Otherwise, I will not order just a pallet for 20 pieces of cheese. That makes no sense. So you have to make a groupement, so a collect of everyone. And finally, we find a way also, and this is a job. And last year I was at the World Fair of Cheese in Tours, and it was very interesting. And we meet so many people. A misplaced actually in the fridge, in the ticker, to put more cheese. I would love to
Oh,
present more.
well, you have so many already. And for you, what is, I mean, you've talked a bit about the satisfaction, but it's long hours, right? And you have a new baby, so you have to find a compromise somehow, am I correct? So you have time with your child. Mm-hmm. But you have this overriding passion for this wonderful place you have. Mm-hmm. And so how do you manage that?
With good team. This was really difficult, but now, and we just had for a couple of days meeting. We had a very good manager, and he used to work with me 3 years ago or 2 years ago. Now he's back, and the manager also of the shop, Philippe. There are two people I can trust, and they have the same passion, and this is very interesting. Also because I have another company, Augustus Box, where we sell a bowl for cheese and wine, so it took me some time as well. It's true, we have Aurelia, the new baby, and also a beautiful wife, and this is take time, but until now I find the balance to manage everything. Mm-hmm. It's long hours, like you say, is sometimes very difficult physically, but yeah, we do it.
So your team, they're remarkable because all of them are at least trilingual, most of them, right? German, French, and English, and some other languages along the way. And how do you find people with the same passion and the same love and understanding of the food that
it's not sometimes easy to find these people. We had I feel last year a big turnover as well, because people want, the problem when you hire French people, and after a few years, almost the young people, after 1 year or a few months, they want to go back in France. And this is very difficult because you have to train the people, you teach them, you bring them your passion, and then they left. And then this is very hard sometimes, but like for example, I will say I have almost 3 to 4 very strong people in the team, so it's almost 50% of the team because we have 9. And this is good because like this I'm not the only one to share also the passion about the product, and we have a very strong, beautiful team. I used to, and I still do it, like there is a big French group on Facebook, and I put here, there is 1 or 2 websites also where we can put like an advertising, like we are looking for someone. And actually we are looking for someone. We would like to have in a restaurant a very nice, sommelier or wine passionate. We really miss someone like this because I can't be there every evening. And we need someone also who can take care of a bit of the management, assistant management. Mm-hmm. And this is sometimes very difficult to find, because we need someone who knows French wine, speak French, but also I have to the people that you have to speak German, and at least if they didn't, I told them you have to go to school and learn German, almost the basic, to exchange with the people. This is very important. You can't arrive in a country and say, oh no, I don't care, I don't want to speak the language of the people.
I try.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
Yeah,
No.
But it's I mean, like, I understand this is also difficult. I'm not fluent in German. It's better, but I'm not 100% after 10 years. Mm-hmm. But it's.
So, my next question would be, why did you choose Berlin?
This is a really, really good
question. Because, I mean, we know that there's so many people that have come to Berlin in the last 30 years, and I'm one of them, and you're one of them.
I had a restaurant in France from 2008 to 2011 or 2012, and then in 2012 I want to quit France. Beautiful country, but with a boring politician situation, too many taxes. And I was like, okay, I want to change because working a lot and have no money. No, doesn't work. Then I was like dreaming of Montreal, actually, Canada.
It's awfully cold in Montreal.
But Grenoble is also cold.
Okay,
So.
right, that's true. It's in the Alps.
Australia, I've never been, but I heard so many good things about Australia that I was like, wow, could be interesting. But my English was really, really, really bad, like almost majority of French people. Then I say, okay, first, it would be better if you go to London. It's more easy, you can learn. If there is any problem, you can coming back in France in 1 hour with the flight, so there is absolutely no stress. And then I went to London. I used to love this time in London. It was a year. I did a good job, had a lot of friends, and I was like, start to think, probably I should open something in London. God, I didn't make it with the Brexit. It would be a big catastrophe, actually, but I'm glad that I didn't make it, and I had a friend who used to have an apartment in Berlin, and he came to visit me twice, I think, in London, and he was like, yeah, come, Berlin is amazing, people are so nice. And true, told me that. When you wake up, the bird come and kiss you if you want. It's a beautiful city, colorful city, cheap. There is nothing in gastronomy. You can do a lot of stuff, And then I came here a weekend in 2012, and I used to like, I would say not the architecture of the city.
Well, it's not it was
not a beautiful
city, so
like,
much was destroyed, exactly.
Like
right.
Vienna, for example, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Rome, London, or
Prague,
Paris. There are some such beautiful city. But what I used to like, it's the way Berlin was open. It's a free city. You can still feel it in 2012. It changed a lot now in 12 years. I spent a very good time at the Mauer Park, Sunday market, and it's funny because it was this guy who ran the karaoke, you know?
No, I don't know this person.
There is a huge karaoke, and there is a guy who runs this, it's an Irish guy, and it's funny because Noé is a neighbor of La Cantine d'Augustin and is a guest, and I tell him, you are a part of why I'm in Berlin.
Incredible.
I used to like all of this. Then I realized, the rent was really cheap for capital.
I know people complain about it now, but it's still very inexpensive compared to Paris, New York, or London. New York.
Or London. London, it would be. I would say London. If I don't have a financial partner, it would not work. Like you need someone very strong behind you. And then I came and slowly I started to learn more about Berlin. There was not so much things about cheese. So when I arrived, really in 2013 and start my market research, Markthallenheim was opened almost for a year.
We should probably explain what it is.
Markthallenheim is a big food court and market in Kreuzberg, very famous, one of the famous food court and market now in Berlin, and with a lot of price and awards and blah blah blah. And there was really new. There was a competitors of us, like Kaiserly, also in Prenzlauer Berg. There was new. It was just open for a few months, and it's funny to see now because I know a lot of people of the gastronomy. It was, I don't know the word, le creux de la vague, so in the wave, you know. The gastronomy in 2012 was really down. Most of the famous restaurant was closed, and start to be a new wave of new restaurants. No, it's super high, I feel. I don't know with next year will be for the gastronomy, because we just changed the VAT, and a lot of people say it would be hard for a lot of people, but this is another subject. And I feel that there is some space for La Cantine d'Augustin. There is some space for your project, and let's do it there. And I remember, and I walk for weeks in a walk, really.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I used to walk from the IZC Berlin Messe to the Frankfurter Tor.
You're kidding.
No. And just like, and not direct, because I want to see some street and to have a look where it's good, which district will be good and everything. So it's it was almost like 5-6 hours walking, and I was exhausted at the end of the day. But this was really interesting also to visit and to understand the city.
Well, that's how I learned Berlin, but it wasn't walking; it was biking. Yeah. I would just get on my bicycle and get lost because it was, and this was before even the GPSs, you know, for me. So,
and it's a huge city.
And it's a huge city.
Still surprised. Still, a few weeks ago, we drive and then we drove, and then I was like, I was still in Berlin, and my wife, she's come from Berlin. She said, but I'd never been there. Which district is that? It's so huge.
It's huge, and so you're technically in Schöneberg, but you're on the cusp of Kreuzberg.
Yeah, we are on the border between Kreuzberg and
Schöneberg. Yeah. And why did you choose that neighborhood? Because just Destiny.
To be honest, first I found a place in Niederböhmimstraße, or the pronunciation of the street is very difficult, in Prenzlauer Berg. And I'm very happy also for that, was in a lot of trouble in the cellar with mushrooms and humidity. And then finally I say, no, I will not take this one. I was very close to sign the contract. And I remember I had a friend, François from La Buvette et la Bonne Franquette. La Buvette is still in Prenzlauer Berg, and I tell him, I'm desperate. I thought it was good, and now I'm lost. And then he told me, hey, calm down. Probably have a look tonight on Imoscount, the website, and you will find something. And then I find Schöneberg, places to rent. The day after, I called the real estate agent. We had a meeting, and he was late. And for French people, I was in advance, so that was. I was proud, and for Germany it was late. Really.
This whole German punctuality isn't all it's.
And I stayed there in front of the shop for 15-20 minutes, and I've seen so many people walking past in front in this no one knows street, Langenscheidstraße, very small street. It's just because you have between Kleidspark station and Julius-Leber-Brücke station, U-Bahn and S-Bahn, and a lot of people are doing the
transfer.
Yeah, the transfer. That was really interesting. Then I came here. The rent was really good, and it's still really good. I had a very good connection also with the landlord, then I said, okay, we stay there. I mean, like, it's funny because I have a very good customer I know as a friend. His name is Thierry, he's a French guy, and he came in the first weeks, and he looked, and we're still laughing about this, and he looked and said, I'm sorry, but I think he would not work in. He would not work in here in the street. Why you open here in the street? He would never work in. Probably give me some energy.
But also, since you've moved in, there's been so much apartment construction in your neighborhood.
It's changing a lot.
Yeah, and they changed the S-Bahn station, they upgraded it, and they added all that.
I can say that in 10 years I have seen so many neighbors moving, but now we have people, and I can feel that also with more and more money as well. And sometimes I was like thinking, you should, probably a real businessman would say, no, okay, it's not enough turnover, let's move now to another street where is more people, more traffic, and then we can do more money. But I like the people of these kids of this district. I love them. And they was there for me for the COVID. They came to the place, buy some cheese and stuff.
Right, you actually expanded during COVID, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that's well, that's a success story right there.
Funny,
Yeah.
one cheese supplier say, "It's funny. I've seen the graphic, and you are the only one who. Everyone go down. You're the only one who go up." And I like this place. Like it's a very nice atmosphere. But sometimes I'm thinking not to open, to change the place of La Cantine de Gustave, but probably why not open a second one?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, maybe you can open one near here. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind going over there. It's not that far, actually.
Bruno and Annette always ask me, "Oh, you should come to the Mottstrasse."
Right.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. No, it's funny. Yeah. So you're going in February on this field trip, so to speak. I don't know what to call it.
Alors, in February is a bit special. We go to the wine fair in Paris. So it's not a trip where I will go to winemakers. The fair are for me very important because in 2 days we can see all of our winemakers and try the new cuvée and say yes or no. I used to remember when I started La Cantine de Gustave was the Château d'Auillac at Bordeaux. It was one of the best sales in the restaurant. And after, I feel that I didn't like the next cuvée for the moment. Let's see in the future. But it's very interesting also because we meet a lot of friends. We have fun, to be honest. I say to my wife, I go for work. She say, yeah, but you have fun. I say, yeah, but this is my work.
Yeah.
There is a lot of very good restaurants also in Paris, and I want to. Actually, I would say 5-6 days, and I have not enough space for all the dinner and lunch that I want to do in the restaurant. Because it's also an inspiration to see what the other one is doing, and always. But I plan in April also to go back in France and always to see some suppliers, and I will do a long trip also with 2 of my employees.
You mentioned,
to do a tour because they really have to feel with who we are working.
No, I think that's really important to meet people face to face, and
this is also something important for the 10 years of La Cantine. 24th of May, I do some advertising like this. We will have a lot of our suppliers will be there, and they will bring product and they will present also product. And I feel this is also good for our customer to meet and to see the face of the people. But probably you like some wines. And the winemaker will be there, and this is probably interesting too. Right?
And will your family be there? I remember a party recently, was it during COVID or something? You had your family there, not just your wife and the baby, but there was grandparents?
I think it was the family of my wife.
Your family of your wife, yeah.
This is also my second family.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful family. I'm very happy and I meet these people. Unfortunately, I asked my parents to come for the birthday, but they are traveling to Spain and they're already in the groups, and everything is paid and is organized. And my mom was very sad. She said, "Oh no, it's a shame because we would love, but probably brother and sister would be there."
Good. Yeah. So wonderful. So I would like to thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss, talk about? I think we understand your passion.
Passion of food, passion of the wine and cheese makers, and passion about the people. This is the most, the most important. When I hire new employees, I always say, I am passionate about human, and this is, it's sometimes very good, but then when something goes wrong, I take it very personally. But human is very important for me, and I'm very happy to welcome people in La Cantine de Gustave.
And you have a website, correct?
We have a website.
Could you repeat the address?
This is a very long address.
Well, we'll put it at the
in English lacantinedaugusta.com.
Okay.
It's all together. Some people say, why you didn't put LCA? I say, no, well, it's like this. Because it was .com, it was for free. So
So
Yeah,
we'll
so
put
like
it.
I said, we start-
It'll be at the end of this
we sell
video.
also wine and cheese online. We have online shops also. We sell it in the whole Germany. So, yeah.
And we loved coming and getting the big baskets for Christmas, because we go to his aunt and uncles for Christmas, and they just love receiving it.
Yeah.
And because you have, besides the cheese and the wine, you have the meats. What do you think? Sausages and the sliced meats, and then you have some of the most wonderful sweets.
Yeah, we have some very nice chocolate.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm very happy. We work with a new supplier. There's a woman where I come from, so Grenoble, close to Saint-Laurent-du-Pont. Actually, it's a city where it's produced the Chartreuse liqueur, for example. And she's making amazing chocolate. She's a very small factory. There are 5 to work in this factory. And I'm very happy that we have some very nice chocolate. And I would love to put more and more, but the problem, I don't have enough space.
No,
but
sometimes there's a line outside the shop.
Yeah, true.
And the other thing I like is so much, you also sell marmalade, and you sell one marmalade that I know from Testo.
Yeah.
And I know the woman who came up with those recipes, and I've known them since the mid-'80s. And I know they've sold it now to somebody else, but it's her daughter was just here the other day, and so I said, my friend sells your mother's marmalade.
Yeah,
it's really wonderful. Yeah,
really good marmalade.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like the strawberry and the raspberry marmalade, or the quitten.
Yeah.
Amazing taste.
Yeah.
Really amazing taste. Really
Yeah.
like it.
So it gives me an extra personal connection to your shop. So thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure. And we'll see each other soon. Of course we will. So thank you very much for joining us today on this lively, wonderful conversation about a gentleman's passion for food and hospitality. I look forward to seeing you at our next Berlin conversation. Thank you, and have a good day.
Merci beaucoup.
Cheers.
Cheers.